Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Press Play Lifestyle Inspired podcast, where we do interviews with interesting and inspiring people like our new friend here, Dariann. And I messed it up.
You're good.
Okay, we're going to talk about that when we get there. For helping our listeners, that's you, find the resources, tools, and support you need to be your best inspired self. So we literally just talked about this. So why don't you introduce yourself, pronounce your name correctly, and give us our little mnemonic so that we can remember it.
Yes, my name is Dariann Leigh. I'm from a small town up in northern Minnesota, almost by Canada. I've been singing music since I could talk, but when I was 14, I kind of got into it more professionally and really kind of pushing into it more. And I'm just on this journey with music and seeing where it goes.
I love that. That's beautiful. So have you always been musically inclined and just like come out of the womb singing songs and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I have 3 older brothers, so I feel like I kind of took little bits of their personality and it kind of formed mine a lot. And my oldest brother was super into music and theater and things like that, so he was always playing music, and it really got me into singing and creating music at a really young age, ever since I was little.
Yeah, I suppose if you have an older brother, you guys can like jam out together, and you always want to be with your older siblings, right? When you're
Oh,
little.
yeah, exactly. The whole chasing your brothers around was my entire childhood.
So do you only have brothers or do you have other siblings?
I have 3 older brothers. I'm the youngest of 4.
Oh, look at that. So you're tough.
Yes, you kind of have to be.
Yeah. You live in Minnesota and you have nothing but brothers. I don't think I'd want to meet you in an alley.
I don't think I'd be in an alley. I'm too much of a scaredy cat.
Awesome. So what was one of your first and most like favorite memories about music?
Oh man, I think one of my favorite memories with music was probably when I first started writing music. I started at a really young age, and I look at the things now, and it's cute, but you're like, wow, that's really not how like a song works. But when I started writing music, it was really cool, and I feel like as a kid, you have so much confidence just instilled in you as a little kid to just be like, this is my song, and I'm really proud of it. And so whenever I look at that, it's a fond memory for me.
Yeah, I love that. I remember like this sounds so silly, but we were moving from Tennessee to Arizona. We moved like every 6 months when I was a kid. And my brother and I were in the back of a U-Haul, inside the U-Haul. Like now you go to jail for that stuff, I think.
Right.
And they had all the like chairs were right behind us, all pulled and bungee corded in the back of the U-Haul. And we're like in the back making up songs, and we thought we had like the next best country song
Oh, yeah.
ever. It wasn't that good though.
I always feel like bless parents and everybody's hearts for listening to the randomness that you come up with as a kid, because I've seen home videos and I was like, I don't think I could have tolerated myself as a kid. I would have been like, you gotta quiet down.
Yeah,
Right.
I played accordion and my brother played the drums.
That's so cool.
I think my parents are deaf. It was like too much.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. Accordion and drums. It's not like 2 subtle instruments at all.
No, you can't even play the accordion quiet because like if you push on, like if you don't push, there's no sound, and if you do push, it's like roar.
Right. It's a roaring sound.
Yeah, it's a roaring sound. None of us were really like able to sing either, so we tried, but it wasn't our skill set for sure.
You probably found your avenue though.
Yeah, that's it. I can sing like an old woman.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how I got it.
I mean, you gotta find your spot and you just own it.
Exactly. I was in the church choir when I was a kid, and I was like the only girl with the guys. Like I think it was tenor or something.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I got put into a church choir when I was super little too, and it was like a bunch of older people, and I was like 6 or 7 years old. They'll bring like little kids because it's their thing, and I just remember looking around and being like, this is scary. I'm scared.
So weird. Like, why are all these people here? And they sing with a lot more gusto as well.
Oh yeah, and they're much older, so their voice is mature compared to like a little kid who's just very innocent. Exactly. I'm like, how did that even blend? But I'm sure it was cute.
I'm sure it was, but we'll just say it was.
Exactly.
All of us parents have gone to every kid concert, and we're just like, that's great.
Your screaming sounds awesome.
You're funny. So did you learn, are you an instrument player as well, or are you more vocal only?
I had to learn piano in school to play percussion. So I actually played drums throughout high school band and stuff like that, and eventually picked up guitar for music. I had met someone that was like, if you really want to use music, you got to find your instrument and use it to create your music. So I finally was like, I'm going to pick up my brother's guitar. So I stole his guitar from his room and I started trying to teach myself. And eventually, after a while, my parents were like, we'll get you in some lessons so you can actually play.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So are there any people in music that are really strong influences on what you do now?
Oh, absolutely. I grew up with a lot of Johnny Cash, Shania Twain, the Jody Messinas, Carrie Underwood, all of that. I grew up in like the time where Taylor Swift was really getting her music out there and like really became big. So there's quite a few for me, but Johnny Cash, Shania Twain, Maren Morris, all those are huge inspos for me.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Shania Twain. I like that she sort of bridged. It's like I'm clearly much older than you, but she bridged like the old twangy sort of
Yes.
talky country, chew on some hay kind of stuff
Right.
into kind of hip hoppity fun. Like young people could then
Right.
like really get into country music without
She really
being,
formed it.
yeah. I mean, at least for me, I always thought country music got fun for a while too. Like the Dixie Chicks came out and I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh, yes.
and they're so sassy. I'm
Oh,
like,
the sassiest. I feel like they kind of like started that like rebel-y, girls that just go after what they want vibe going on. And it's
and I
so
was
cool.
like, wasn't one of their songs like about Earl?
Yeah, Goodbye Earl, I think.
Goodbye Earl. It was the
Something
funniest,
like that.
sassiest thing ever. It was a lot of fun. So no, I was brought up, we were listening to like Reba McEntire or
I
Garth
love her.
Brooks or um oh gosh, his name is Garth Brooks, Kenny Chesney, like all of that.
Yes.
But it was post like the Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash, like
Right.
that era. It's
Yeah.
like kind of in the middle. But I think country music's one of those that's fun because it's had this step by step evolution. It
Oh
didn't
yeah.
like randomly do a big hop like rock and
Right.
roll was like speed metal and like all like big, huge, significant differences. But country just sort of kept stepping up with the
Oh
way
yeah.
people were
It
changing.
developed a lot. It really changed over time. It went from super broken down, which I think is awesome. I love broken down. I feel like we're kind of getting back into that now, which is awesome. But I feel like country music started really broken down and soulful, and it kind of bridged into a louder, like more full sound with like girls that can be sassy or can own up to whatever they want to feel, and the guys that are the rebel or the country boy back home. It's so cool because it's so personal.
Yeah, yeah. I did a couple interviews in the last couple months, and they kind of like the indie crowd, right? Like the not Garth Brooks, not these
Yes.
big stars. And what I think is like so fascinating is like you guys are still touchable, like you're still real people,
Right.
and so then like we can really feel the music because you
Exactly.
are singing it from that place, like
Right.
that deep place.
I wonder if there's a point, I've thought of this a lot, where it kind of becomes more of a performance versus like that small room with the artist performing sort of thing. And I know I've kind of felt it sometimes, but yeah, I feel like with country music, it's that, and every concert has it when the lights go down, everybody's flashing their phones or their lighters, and everybody's just like in that moment together. I feel like there's still that intimacy, and music is really intimate and emotional, and I think it's super cool.
What do you think about like in your perspective? For me, I've thought it was really cool is the artists that are now getting on right now. I know this is timing the interview, but we're all kind of quarantined at some level in home,
Right.
and you see some of these like really big names and every other great musician just kind of showing up and giving away their art.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Like, what's your perspective on that?
I think it's super cool. Like you can watch, and a lot of the times you don't have the opportunity to see some of these people live. I could watch Garth Brooks on Saturday, and on Sunday I'm watching one of my friends, and Monday I'm watching Tim McGraw. It's so cool to have everybody doing it, and I think music has always kind of shown through as a thing that people use to get through things. So it's super cool to see people kind of falling back on that a bit.
Yeah, I love that. That was exactly my perspective, which there's been like this wave in the last, I want to say 5 to 10 years, where we've taken art out of school, we've taken music
Right.
out, we've taken God out. And and when we all got sequestered into our homes, like immediately everyone turned to the not important stuff,
Yep.
right?
The
They
things that
went
were
back
taken
to
away.
music, they went back to art, they went back to their faith. And I think it's just beautiful testament of how music is part of the fabric of humanity, and we can't
Oh yeah.
just let it go, you know.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And every time period's had different sorts of music. I can't imagine schools that don't have as much music in them anymore, if any. I grew up struggling in school a lot, so I used music to memorize my spelling words, or you have to remember this definition, so I made a song to it. So I feel like music is so much of a tool that it is completely necessary in every aspect. So yeah, like you said, it's awesome that people are falling back on those things.
Yeah, so you said that, so that's something that interesting. You said you struggled in school, and one of your tools was your music, using
Mhm.
it to memorize things, using it for others. Were there any subjects that work particularly well with like music mnemonics to kind of help you remember things?
Oh yeah, absolutely English because it just rolls, obviously. But really struggled actually in English growing up a lot, and then I ended up graduating my senior year, going to college to be an English teacher. It's kind of weird how the world turns around. But math was another one, and I used that a lot, just kind of with some sort of beat to remember it, rather than sitting there like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it was. It was definitely a tool that I ended up using a lot.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting too, because a lot of people make so many stereotypes out there, but they're like, oh, if you're good in music, then you're going to be great in math, right? Or
Right.
and you're like, no, I'm an English teacher.
Yeah, I was not good at math.
So it's like universal language. So are you teaching as well outside of also
No,
doing your
I
music?
started I started college, and then it's really hard to do traveling and performing and being in school at the same time. So I did one semester on campus and then went to online for a while, and I haven't gone back to school for, I guess it's almost like a year and a half now.
Yeah. So were you previous to
Right.
just recent times, are you doing a lot of traveling with your music?
I normally am. I'm normally traveling. I do about anywhere from 1 to 4 shows a week during the summertime, and wintertime obviously slows down a bit, but there's normally
Mhm.
2 shows a week or shows here and there, normally a reason to travel.
Yeah. So I'm really curious because we talked about a pre-show warm up was you're in Minnesota. Like we're in the
Yes.
tundra, like Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Midwest are kind of a different breed. We definitely have
Oh,
different,
yeah.
it's cold. Um, how does someone professionally do music in the Midwest? Do you end up traveling in your country? Do you end up traveling to Nashville a lot, or do you
Yeah.
do a little of both, or how's that look for you?
So, because I'm so far up north, it's a lot of driving places, 4, 6, 8, 12, however many hour drives. It is a lot of travel back and forth from Nashville to here. I am hoping to move within the new year, but right now it's just a lot of travel, and I like it. It's kind of cool to adventure around and make a lot of memories adventuring with my parents. Come with me a lot, or my mom is always with me. So it's awesome to adventure and be able to do what I love at the same time.
Yeah, that was another question I was going to ask. You kind of answered it, but who are your roadies? Like, is it your mom or is it your brothers?
Yes.
Like, who's with you?
Normally, my mom is with all the time. That way, I'm not alone. My dad can come with whenever he can get off work and can make his schedule work there. But otherwise, I have a couple friends that'll tag along now and again when they can. But it's always my mom is my true and true, always there.
Oh, that's lovely. Is it different for you being, I bet these are the most generic questions you get all the time,
No,
but
you're good.
um, how does it feel being like you're a younger lady, like a young lady
Right.
in, you're all by yourself. It's like, is it different or is it scary at all versus like the guy, maybe if you were a male country music artist? How does that work for you?
It's definitely different. It comes with challenges because, just the way the world is, being a young girl and doing things like this that are so public, and also vulnerable with music. It definitely has challenges, and very particular about the people I'm going to meet for stuff. You do research on where you're going before you go there, and it's always having the random devices you might need to feel safe and comfortable. I feel like men deal with the same things. I've actually talked with a lot of them, a lot of my friends that are artists, and they deal with the same thing, crazy people at shows and needing to feel safe, but I don't feel the extent of needing to feel safe everywhere or needing to like research everything before you go there as I feel a female does.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective because I traveled a lot before I did this work I'm doing now, and I was like the only technologist female, so I was always by myself,
Right.
and like that means eating by yourself, right? That
Yep.
means going out places by yourself. That means making a lot of decisions on whether you're going to do it by yourself or not. And nobody was looking for me. Like I wasn't
Right.
popular. I wasn't on display. I wasn't presenting on a stage. I was just a girl by herself.
Mhm.
And I found I did a lot more preparation. Just, am I going to eat by myself or am I going to eat in the hotel? Right.
Right. Oh yeah, it's the simple things like that that you think about, and I don't think a lot of people realize that sometimes.
I forget, like, plus eating alone really bites. Like,
Yeah, sometimes it's great when you want like a second because I'm kind of one of those people, like I feel like I'm kind of a loner at heart sometimes
yeah, I
where
need some
I
space.
love just a moment to breathe. So it's nice, but yeah, it's weird eating alone in public places sometimes so continuously.
So how do you stay like fit and healthy traveling a lot for your work?
It is definitely challenging. It's hard to eat well on the road. I deal with medical stuff with my stomach, so I have to be really particular about what I'm eating. And it definitely is challenging. You definitely fall through on diets or whatever you have going on. Sometimes you miss your workout. I'm not crazy into getting an intense workout in every day. Just moving your body in general to me is great. But yeah, it's not without challenge.
Yeah, I suppose especially if you have like an underlying medical complication, I'll just make one up since then we don't have to get that private, but like I have a friend who's he had like a part of his bowel removed and so
Oh,
he
yep.
couldn't eat like nuts, like like you can't eat certain things. Like
Right.
he had to drink like gallons of water, like literally drink a gallon of water, and like gas stations got nuts and soda.
Yep.
Right? Like like he was so skinny for a while. He's like, so he started having to kind of pre-pack some things, but then you
Oh,
can
yeah.
take some of that on the planes now, right? Like they're
Exactly.
just, it's a kind of a crazy gig to figure that out.
Oh, it is. It's a juggle to figure that out on top of whatever else you're figuring out. I feel like I've kind of got my system down. Like I've become a super organized person. All of my things have a spot. So when I have to come and go really fast, I can just grab it and run.
You don't
So
forget
that's
your
definitely
toothbrush.
helped. Right. I literally have a designated spot for that. My toothpaste, everything has its spot.
Yeah, that's great. So becoming organized was like a big help for you.
Oh, yeah. It definitely keeps you on your toes.
So I know everyone asks this because I ask it at every one of my interviews with musicians, but and it's like asking you to choose your favorite child. But do you have a favorite song or like a right now favorite song that's
Ooh.
like something you're really just touched by?
Yeah, I have my current single Wherever I Go out. That one means a lot to me because of if I didn't write it. It was written for me, which is crazy. And I never thought
It's
that
so
I would do
cool.
that in my life before, have somebody write a song about my life. But I recently wrote a song called My Love Is, actually in the hotel bathroom in Nashville. I was about to record a song like 2 days later, and I was trying to I had a lot of artists send songs because I love to use other people's work as well, kind of give a voice to that. And my mom was like, I think you could probably write the song you love. Like, just get into that headspace and go write it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab my guitar. I'm gonna go in the bathroom. It's like midnight. I'm like, don't mind me. I'll be in here. I'll try to stay quiet. And so I write this
I'll
song,
try
and
to sing quietly. Right.
yeah, in an echoey bathroom.
Yeah.
That's like impossible. My boyfriend is currently deployed. He's a Marine. And so that's what that song is about. And that one's really close to me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, where can the audience find you so they can hear your latest single and just keep track of you as you keep doing great things?
Yeah, thank you. You can find me all over social media, Dariann Leigh, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, Twitter, TikTok even. I started doing that because that's a huge thing now.
Yeah, I've heard that. I keep getting people keep encouraging me to, and I'm like, like I might have gotten to a point where I'm not going to be a TikToky type, but we'll see. Yeah.
Hey, I've seen everybody on TikTok. I stay up way too late watching it. It's so easy to consume so much content when it's just an easy swipe. I've
Yeah, you're
seen
like,
so
I'm
many
in the
people on there.
hotel. I've watched all these movies.
Literally
Yeah.
staying up way too late. Like I'm okay at 10 p.m. I'm gonna watch an hour of them, and then I'm gonna stop, and then it's like midnight, and I'm
2
like,
a.m.
oh, yeah, 2
Yeah.
a.m., 4 a.m., and I'm like, oh boy,
Music
sorry.
kind of stuff tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, that's
Yep.
amazing. So we will make sure to have all of your links in the show notes so that people are able to kind of quickly and easily find you if they want to hear some more of your music. But I just want to say thank you so much for spending some time with me. I know we both have decent weather in the Midwest, so I stole you from
Yes.
like the only day you're going to be able to go outside this month.
Right.
Um, so thank you so much. And it was really great meeting you. And I look forward to hearing some more of your stuff as it comes out.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. We can definitely go and enjoy the warm weather and hope that it doesn't change in 5 minutes.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Yeah, see you.